They will play dirty. Count on it. The world is not fair. It never promised to be. While you were taught to play by the rules, others were taught to win by any means necessary. They will lie, they will cheat, they will manipulate, they will smile to your face and plot behind your back. And if you meet their tactics with outrage, with moral indignation, with complaints about fairness, you will lose. Machiavelli understood something most people refuse to accept. The game is already dirty. You did not make it that way, but you must learn to navigate it without getting dirty yourself. This is not about becoming them. This is about becoming untouchable. Today, we dissect 12 principles for staying clean in a dirty game, for protecting yourself without compromising your integrity, for winning without becoming what you hate. This is strategic defense. This is calculated detachment. This is how you think like Machiavelli while they drown in their own schemes. Let the lesson begin. Expect betrayal. Never show surprise. The first mistake is trusting too easily. The second is being shocked when trust is broken. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince assumes men are wicked until proven otherwise. This is not cynicism. This is realism. When someone betrays you, your reaction determines your power. If you appear devastated, blindsided, emotionally shattered, you signal weakness. You tell the world you were naive. Instead, when betrayal comes, you respond with calm acknowledgement. Not surprise, not anger, just cold recognition. I see what you did. This terrifies them because it means you were already prepared. It means you had contingencies. It means you are several steps ahead. The person who cannot be surprised cannot be destroyed. Build your relationships with open eyes. Trust, but verify. Give people rope, and when they hang themselves with it, do not act shocked. Simply adjust your strategy and move forward. Emotional reactions are ammunition. Give them nothing. Document everything. They will lie about what was said, what was agreed, what was promised. And if it is your word against theirs, the person with power wins. This is why documentation is your shield. Every important conversation should be followed by written confirmation. Every agreement should be recorded. Every commitment should be traceable. Not because you are paranoid, because you are prepared. When they try to rewrite history, you pull out the receipts, the email thread, the text message, the signed document, the recorded meeting notes. You do not argue about memory. You present facts. Machiavelli advised that the wise man builds fortifications before the siege begins. Documentation is your fortress. It protects you from gaslighting, from revisionist tactics, from convenient amnesia. They can play dirty all they want, but they cannot argue with evidence. Create a paper trail for everything that matters. When they attack, you defend with facts, not feelings. Truth becomes your armor. Never reveal your full hand. The dirty player relies on information asymmetry. They know your plans, your weaknesses, your next move. This gives them power. The untouchable person reveals nothing. You share minimum viable information. You keep your strategies private. You never announce your next move before you make it. When they ask what you are working on, the answer is something interesting. When they probe for details, you deflect with vague pleasantries. This is not dishonesty. This is operational security. Machiavelli taught that a prince must be a great concealer, not because he is deceptive, but because information is leverage, and leverage should never be surrendered freely. The moment you tell them your plan, they can sabotage it. The moment you reveal your vulnerabilities, they can exploit them. The moment you expose your timeline, they can interfere. Keep your cards close. Play your hand one card at a time, and never let them see what you are holding until it is too late to stop you. Build alliances they don't see. The dirty player isolates you. They spread rumors. They poison relationships. They make sure that when you are attacked, you stand alone. The untouchable person builds a network in silence. You cultivate relationships they do not know about. You help people without broadcasting it. You create debts of gratitude that are invisible to your enemies. When they finally attack, they discover you are not alone. People they did not know you were connected to come to your defense. Opportunities they did not know you had become available. Resources they did not know you possessed appear. This is strategic alliance building. You do not announce your friendships. You do not post about your network. You keep your connections private until the moment you need to activate them. Machiavelli wrote that a prince should have friends in reserve, unknown to his enemies. Visible alliances can be targeted. Invisible alliances are your secret weapon. Build quietly, strike loudly. The temptation when someone plays dirty is to retaliate immediately, to fight fire with fire, to descend to their level. This is a mistake, because dirty players eventually self-destruct. They lie so much they cannot keep their stories straight. They manipulate so many people that eventually the victims compare notes. They burn so many bridges that they run out of allies. Your job is not to destroy them. Your job is to stay clean and let time do the work. Machiavelli observed that those who rise by treachery often fall by the same means. Do not interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. Stay patient, stay visible, stay consistent. Let them dig their own grave with lies and schemes. And when they finally collapse under the weight of their own deception, you are still standing, untouched, unbothered, with your reputation intact. Revenge is not necessary when self-destruction is inevitable. Just wait. Dirty players do not just attack you, they attack your reputation. They spread stories. They twist facts. They create a narrative where you are the villain. If you wait until after the attack to defend yourself, you have already lost. The untouchable person controls the narrative proactively. You build your reputation before it is attacked. You establish credibility before it is questioned. You create a public record of integrity so strong that when lies are told, they do not stick. This means being visible in the right ways, publishing your work, sharing your successes, demonstrating your values through action. When the attack comes, people already have a framework for evaluating the claims, and the framework is your established character. Machiavelli taught that perception is reality in the court of public opinion, so you shape perception before your enemies attempt to. You define yourself loudly, clearly, consistently, so when they try to redefine you, the audience does not believe them. Narrative control is preventive defense. Never fight in their arena. They will try to pull you into their game, into gossip, into public arguments, into petty conflicts. They want you in the mud with them, because in the mud, everyone looks dirty. The untouchable person refuses to enter their arena. When they gossip about you, you do not gossip back. When they attack publicly, you respond privately or not at all. When they try to provoke an emotional reaction, you give them stone-cold silence. You choose the battlefield, not them. You fight on your terms, in your space, with your weapons. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince never fights on ground chosen by his enemy. If they want a shouting match, you respond with documentation. If they want a public spectacle, you handle it through proper channels. If they want chaos, you bring order. You do not match their energy, you impose yours. This asymmetry confuses them. They prepared for a street fight. You showed up with a legal brief. They cannot win a game you refuse to play. Keep your emotions private. The dirty player wants to see you hurt. They want to know they got to you. Every emotional reaction you give is a victory for them. The untouchable person processes emotion in private. When they attack, your face remains neutral. Your voice remains calm. Your body language remains composed. You do not give them the satisfaction of knowing they landed a hit. Behind closed doors, you feel everything. You process, you strategize, you plan your response. But in public, in front of them, you are ice. This psychological discipline is power, because when they cannot read you, they cannot predict you. When they cannot hurt you visibly, they lose confidence in their attacks. Machiavelli understood that the prince who shows pain invites more attacks. The prince who shows nothing creates doubt. Let them wonder if their schemes even registered. Let them question whether you even noticed. And while they are questioning, you are moving. Emotion is fuel, but it burns in the engine, not on the surface. Have an exit strategy for everything. Dirty players trap you. They create situations where you are dependent on them, where leaving costs too much, where you have no choice but to endure. The untouchable person always has an exit. Multiple income streams so no single job can control you. Multiple relationships so no single person can manipulate you. Multiple options so no single path can trap you. This is not paranoia. This is freedom architecture. When you negotiate from desperation. Machiavelli taught that a prince must never rely solely on fortune or on the goodwill of others. He must have his own arms, his own resources, his own alternatives. Build your exits before you need need them. Diversify your dependencies. Create optionality in every area of life. Then, when they play dirty, when they threaten, when they try to corner you, you have a response they did not anticipate. You leave, and they are left holding nothing. Exit power is the ultimate untouchability. Respond with precision, not rage. When they attack dirty, the natural response is fury, to lash out, to retaliate wildly, to burn everything down. This is exactly what they want. Rage is chaotic. Chaos creates collateral damage, and collateral damage destroys your reputation along with theirs. The untouchable person responds with surgical precision. You identify exactly what they did. You determine exactly what consequence is appropriate. You execute exactly that consequence. Nothing more, nothing less. No emotional overflow. No scorched earth, just calculated justice. If they broke a contract, you enforce legal remedies. If they spread lies, you present facts to the relevant audience. If they violated trust, you remove access. Each response is proportional, targeted, defensible. Machiavelli wrote that cruelty must be well used or not used at all. Well used means precise, strategic, effective. When you respond with precision, you look professional, not petty, strong, not emotional, and the audience respects measured power far more than uncontrolled rage. Control the response every time. Turn their attack into your advantage. The master level of untouchability is not just defending against dirty tactics. It is using them as fuel. When they spread lies about you, you use the attention to tell your truth louder. When they try to sabotage your project, you document it and expose the sabotage, gaining sympathy and support. When they betray you, you use the lesson to build stronger systems. Every attack becomes data. Every scheme becomes a case study. Every dirty move becomes proof of what you are up against, which justifies your vigilance and attracts allies who respect your resilience. Machiavelli observed that great men turn obstacles into stepping stones. The rock thrown at you becomes the foundation of your next level. This requires a mindset shift from victim to strategist, from why is this happening to me to how can I use this? The untouchable person does not just survive attacks, they metabolize them. They convert enemy action into personal advantage. And when your enemies realize that attacking you only makes you stronger, they stop attacking. You have become too expensive to fight, too dangerous to provoke, untouchable. Outlast them. The final principle is the simplest and the hardest: endurance. Dirty players burn hot and fast. They exhaust themselves with schemes. They make enemies faster than they make allies. They cannot sustain the energy required to constantly manipulate and deceive. You do not have to destroy them. You just have to outlast them. Stay consistent, stay ethical, stay strategic, year after year. While they cycle through conflicts and crises, you build. While they burn bridges, you construct them. While they create chaos, you create value. Time is the great revealer. It exposes who was real and who was performing, who had substance and who had only tactics. Machiavelli's final wisdom: fortunes change, but character endures. The dirty player's fortune is volatile. Yours is stable. So you do not need to win every battle. You just need to still be standing when the war is over. And when the dust settles, when their schemes have collapsed and their reputation is ashes, you are still there. Untouched, unbroken, untouchable. This is how you win without becoming what you fought against. Not by playing their game, by refusing to play it at all.